So, you think you know the story of Meghan Markle? Think again, honey, because what you've been fed is a carefully crafted script designed to make her the shining queen of her own narrative. But hold on to your seats, because we're about to tear that fairy tale to pieces. Forget about the heartwarming tales, the royal weddings, and the supposed fairy tale love with Prince Harry. The real story? It's nothing like the storybook romance you've been sold. This isn't a Cinderella story. This is a strategic climb. And the woman at the center of it? Meghan Markle, who according to explosive claims, used every tool she had to play the game. Yes, we're talking about her ex-husband, Trevor Engelson, finally speaking out and pulling back the curtain on their entire marriage. You see, Trevor was never part of Meghan's love story. Oh no, he was merely a stepping stone in her journey to the top, a rung on the ladder that would eventually lead her straight to the British royal family. In a world where secrets are currency, Trevor has kept his cards close to his chest for years. He never spoke out, never cashed in on the pain of his marriage. But now, with the world watching Meghan's every move, he's had enough. He's been silent for far too long, while Meghan has rewritten the story of their relationship to fit her own narrative. The time has come for Trevor to expose the truth, and trust me, this is a truth bomb that's going to explode in ways you never saw coming. Here's the thing, Trevor never stood a chance. Not because he wasn't a good husband, but because Meghan wasn't looking for love. Oh no, she was looking for a ticket to the A-list. She was struggling in Hollywood, fighting for roles, fighting to get noticed. Trevor? He was a rising producer, a man with connections, money, and stability. And let's be real here, she didn't marry him out of the goodness of her heart. She married him because she needed that green card. Not for nationality, oh no, she was already an American citizen, sweetie, but for Hollywood. She needed that access, that connection, that platform to climb higher in the industry. And Trevor? He was just the sponsor who made it all possible. He claims it was all part of the plan. The marriage was a strategic merger. He provided the safety net while she worked her way up. But the second Suits hit and she secured a steady paycheck, that's when everything shifted. Suddenly, Trevor was no longer her anchor, he was a liability. The moment she got that green card stamped, the moment she got her gig, the woman Trevor knew vanished. Imagine this, Meghan, the woman he loved, the woman he married, suddenly turning cold, distant, and detached. The day she secured her place in Hollywood, Trevor became invisible to her. And when the divorce papers came, do you know how it went down? She didn't even have the decency to have a conversation with him. No, she just sent the wedding ring back in a box. No note, no explanation, just a cold, brutal termination of a contract. Trevor wasn't just a husband to her. He was a stepping stone, and once his usefulness was gone, he was discarded like last season's handbag. Let that sink in. She didn't just leave him because she fell out of love. Trevor says, she left me because she leveled up, and I was stuck on level 1. His worth, his emotional investment didn't matter. All that mattered was her climb, and once she reached the top, the man who had been her support system became dead weight. The green card had been acquired, the role had been landed, and she didn't need Trevor anymore. But here's the real kicker. Trevor doesn't just feel bitter or heartbroken. No, this man's been watching, quietly and carefully, as Meghan's story unfolded once again in the media. As the world watched Meghan enter the royal family, Trevor couldn't help but see the exact same pattern playing out, only on a grander scale. He sees Prince Harry isolated, cut off from his family, disconnected from everything he knew, and Trevor recognizes it all too well. He knows the script. Meghan did the same thing to him. She used him, got what she needed, and then tossed him aside. And now? Now, she's doing the same thing to Harry. Trevor warns, she extracts the value, and then she mails back the ring. It's all about leverage, honey. It's all about climbing higher and higher. Trevor was just the first rung on the ladder, and now she's on the path to the palace, using the same tactics. And let's be clear, this isn't about love. This is a calculated, cold-blooded plan to secure a life of status, fame, and power. And you thought this was just a royal drama? This is a game, a ruthless game, with Meghan Markle playing it better than anyone ever could have imagined. Trevor? He was the starter husband, and as he watches the story unfold, he can't help but think, I was the prototype. And Harry? He's just the production model. Meghan's playing the same game, the same algorithm, and Harry is the one who is next in line to be used and discarded when she's done with him. Trevor's story isn't just some petty ex-husband drama. It's a warning that Meghan Markle has a playbook, a roadmap for her rise, and she's not afraid to use anyone to get there. The green card wasn't just about access to America. It was about access to the world, to the status, the power, and everything that comes with it. She used Trevor to get her start in Hollywood, and then she used Prince Harry to get her into the royal fold. But now, as Trevor watches the inevitable collapse of Harry and Meghan's marriage, he knows what's coming next. The writing's on the wall. Meghan Markle is already looking for her next target, her next stepping stone, the next person who can help her climb even higher. And trust me, it won't be long before the next part of the plan falls into place. All right, buckle up because the plot thickens, and trust me, it's going to get even juicier from here on out. What we're about to dive into isn't just a sad story of love gone wrong. It's the story of a woman on a mission that's been meticulously plotted for years. And the next chapter? Oh, it's a doozy. Trevor Engelson has lived through this nightmare, and now he's ready to spill all the tea. He's already blown the lid off Meghan's Hollywood hustle, but there's so much more to this scandal than anyone could have anticipated. The truth is, Meghan's rise isn't about passion or ambition for social justice. It's about status and access to the right people, the right circles, the right networks. And as Trevor reveals, she wasn't just looking for a husband to love her, she was looking for a launchpad to propel her straight to the top. So while the world was busy fawning over Meghan's rags to riches story, the real story was far darker. Trevor claims that the first time Meghan realized he was disposable wasn't when they fought over his career or her long-distance shooting schedule. Oh no, it was when she touched down in Toronto and the star was born. When Suits finally became the hit show it was meant to be, and the paychecks started rolling in, that's when everything changed. Trevor, according to the explosive allegations, was no longer the charming Hollywood husband. He was an afterthought. Can you even imagine how that felt? Imagine being married to someone who once relied on you for everything, only for them to toss you aside the second they get what they want. But Trevor saw it coming. He wasn't blind to the signs. He was just trapped in a love story that was never really his to begin with. And as Meghan ascended to the top, she began curating the perfect image, the perfect life, one that didn't include him. No, she started dressing sharper, networking harder, and surrounding herself with a new circle, people who were useful for her upward climb. And Trevor? He wasn't just a husband, he was an accessory that didn't match the furniture. He recalls a humiliating weekend when he flew to Toronto, hoping for some intimacy, some connection, and instead he was left in a rented apartment all alone while Meghan wined and dined with her new set of elite friends. Trevor says he felt like a ghost in his own marriage, a prop for a scene he didn't even know he was in. And when he tried to show up to the set of Suits, she shot him down, claiming it was to focus on her work. But Trevor, smart as he is, soon realized the real reason. Meghan wasn't just focused on her career, she was already auditioning for her next husband. She was actively looking for someone who could take her higher, someone who could get her into the next level of social circles. People who had access to the kinds of places, events, and opportunities that would make her a global icon. And Trevor? He was no longer that man. He was an obstacle. And let's talk about that famous moment when Meghan sent the wedding ring back to Trevor. Oh, the drama. You know the story, the infamous return of the ring sent back in a box with no explanation. But Trevor's version is far more devastating. It wasn't just the ring that was returned, it was the entire relationship in one cold, unfeeling gesture. There was no emotional goodbye, no long, heartfelt discussion, just a package, a ring, and a note of silence. Trevor describes it as the ultimate contract termination. Meghan had decided that he was no longer useful, and she was done with him. She wasn't leaving because she stopped loving him. No, she was leaving because she'd leveled up. She had reached the next stage, and Trevor was left behind like a crumpled receipt. You'd think that would be the end of it, right? But oh no, this story doesn't end with the return of the ring. Meghan had bigger plans in store. Trevor knew that once she had secured her spot in Toronto, once she was firmly embedded in the Hollywood scene, it was just a matter of time before she set her sights on the next big prize, someone who could get her into even more exclusive circles. And it wasn't long before Trevor saw who she was eyeing, a celebrated Canadian chef. Trevor claims that Meghan didn't fall in love with this man. No, she fell in love with his Rolodex, his connections, his access to political elites, the wealthy, the powerful. Because once you've gotten everything you need from one person, you just find another one who can take you higher. But wait, there's more. Enter Marcus Anderson, Meghan's best friend, who, according to Trevor, was really just a strategic consultant. Oh yes, darling. Marcus wasn't there for the fun and games. He was there to help Meghan figure out her next move. Trevor says he found notes, actual handwritten lists, detailing the kinds of men Meghan needed to meet to break into the British philanthropic circuit. She wasn't looking for love, she was looking for leverage. And Trevor? He wasn't on the list. Not anymore. And then came the most humiliating part of it all. Meghan, the woman he once loved, out there in the press, grinning like she had won the lottery. She was photographed with the chef, smiling and laughing, posing with the very people who once made Trevor feel small. She was now living a life she had once despised, surrounded by the wealthy and elite, wearing the clothes Trevor had bought her, playing the role of the sophisticated socialite. But the man who had been by her side when she had nothing? He was nowhere to be seen. Trevor's heartbreak turned into a sick realization. He had been nothing more than a prop in Meghan's story. But don't get it twisted, Trevor's not bitter. Not at all. He's just been watching, waiting for the moment when the truth would come out. And here it is. Trevor isn't angry, he's warning Harry. He sees it. He sees the same pattern playing out again, with a different man this time. And he's ready to expose the truth. He sees Prince Harry in a position he knows all too well. Harry is living a story that Trevor already lived. Meghan has already extracted what she needed from him, the title, the fame, the status, and now? Now she's ready to move on to the next chapter. Trevor's message to Harry is simple: don't fight it. Because just like Trevor, you're about to be written out of the story. Meghan's playbook is ruthless, and Harry is just the latest victim. The worst part? The world will never see it coming. Meghan is already plotting her exit strategy, and it's not going to look like a messy divorce. Oh no, it's going to look like a humanitarian pivot. She's going to rebrand herself as the ultimate global player, leaving Harry behind as an obstacle to her ambitions. And in the final, chilling twist, Trevor reveals that he's been approached by biographers, documentary makers, and even people within the palace, all wanting to hear his side of the story. But Trevor's not doing this to get revenge. Oh no, he's doing it to save Harry from making the same mistakes he did. He wants Harry to know that Meghan doesn't care about him. She's playing a game, and Harry is just another pawn on the board. Trevor's final words? They're a warning. He says you can't negotiate with a hurricane. Just let the house go and save yourself. Trevor's lived through this. He knows exactly how the story ends. And the only question left is, will Harry realize it before it's too late? Meghan Markle is playing a global game, and Harry's just along for the ride. The green card? Just the first step, the first stamp. Now the game's in its final act. The question is, has Meghan already left? Has she already checked out and Harry just hasn't received the memo yet? You better believe the answer is yes. And that, darling, is the real story.